Alright kiddos, happy Tuesday to you. If you're watching this video, it's because you're probably in my 6th period class and I missed you today because of math testing. So, you should be watching this video for homework tonight, and there is a worksheet to fill in plus homework to do. I'm very sorry about that, but you know, algebra, we just can't stop. So, here we go. Today we are talking about multiplying polynomials. Now what's different about that is that we've only talked about multiplying exponents before, and now we're going to actually multiply nomials together, whether they're mono, bi, or tri. So let's give it a try. Here we go. In our notes, how many polynomials do we actually see? I see 2 of them, and they each have 2 terms. So these are going to be 2 binomials. In order to actually multiply, okay, it's not going to be good enough to say, oh, this times this and this times this. You actually have to multiply every single term by everything that's available. So there is a very easy method to do that. We call it the box method. And here's what I want you to do. We're going to draw a box, kind of like a Punnett square in science. And then we're going to take the first binomial, and I'm going to write the first term up above. So I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to put a 2x above my first box, and then I'm going to put this term along with its sign above my second box. So I have 2x and minus 3. I'm going to do the same thing for this one, but out to the left side. So my first term is going to be an x, and then I'm going to write the second term with the sign plus 1. So here's what's going to happen. We're just going to combine every box by multiplying together. So if I multiply 2 times a 1, that's in front of the x, I'm going to get a 2. And then x times x gives me x squared. Hopefully everybody's good. Same thing here. I'm going to combine these 2 into this box, but that's by multiplication. So negative 3 times the 1 in front gives me a negative 3. And then I have an x here. It's not x squared because this one doesn't have an x term. Same thing with this box. 2 times 1 gives me 2, and I have an x. And finally, combining these 2 numbers, negative 3 times 1 gives me negative 3. I am now going to list it out as a polynomial. It will say 2x squared minus 3x plus 2x minus 3. But do you see any friends we can still combine? I do. I see 2 x terms that can come together. Now these don't have friends and these don't have friends, so we leave them. They're lonely. Okay, I have a 2x squared. What's negative 3 plus 2? My negative is on the larger number, so it stays. Negative 1x, or just x, minus 3. Is this the correct order that I would write my exponents? Yes. So that means I am done. A trinomial. All right, let's give it a try for number 2. What do we have to draw first? Well, we have to draw our box. But before I can go on, please notice, it tells me I have this binomial 2 times. If I were to expand it, that means I have 3x minus 4 times what? 3x minus 4. Now I know exactly what to write above and to the side. So we should have 4 boxes. Above the top one, I'm going to write my first term, 3x. And then I have minus 4. And then I have a 3x again. And another minus 4. So let's do some multiplication. 3 times 3 gives me 9. And x times x gives me x squared. Hopefully everybody's okay. Same thing here. Negative 4 times a positive 3 is going to give me negative 12. And I just have 1x. Here, negative 12 again. And 1x. And here, negative times negative gives me a positive, and 4 times 4 gives me 16. So let's try and write it out. I have 9x squared minus 12x plus 16. Do I see friends? Yes and yes. Poor lonely people. So sorry. 9x squared. What's negative 12 and negative 12? I'm adding them together. Negative 24x, and finally plus 16. So if you notice, the only way we're able to multiply polynomials is by making sure every single term is multiplied, so that I end up with 4 terms and I've combined my friends to get my trinomial. Okay, so let's keep going. Number 3, what am I going to draw first? My box. Boom, boom. Okay, up above, I'm going to write my first terms, so I have just a plain x and what else? A negative 7. Okay, out to the side, I have another plain x and a positive 7. Okay, so let's just multiply. X times x gives me x squared. Negative 7 times the 1 in front still gives me negative 7, but I also have an x. Same thing here. Positive 7 times 1 gives me positive 7, and I have an x. And finally, negative times positive gives me a negative. 7 times 7 gives me 49. Okay, so let's write it all out. I know my x squared term goes first. Minus 7x plus 7x minus 49. Do you see friends? Of course you do. Always my middle 2 terms. Okay, so what's a minus 7 and a plus 7? Gone. Cancel. All I have is x squared minus 49. So now what kind of nomial is this one? This one would just be 5. All of the other ones were try. Okay, oh my. This one looks a little bit more tricky, but all we have to do is just make 3 columns up above and still keep our 2 row box. So everybody should have 3 columns and 2 rows, and now I'm just gonna fill it in. I have a 3x squared first, and then I have a 2x, and then that's a plus. Don't forget to put your signs in front, and I have a minus 5. So I have all of this last trinomial taken care of. Now I just need to fill in my binomial. I have a 2x and a 3. Okay, so let's just multiply. Easy. 2 times 3 gives me a 6. But now, what is x squared times x? Remember, your exponents add together. So 2 plus 1 gives me a 3. Okay, so let's keep going. A 2 times 2 gives me 4. And x times x gives me x squared. So far, so good? Negative 5 times 2 gives me negative 10. And what else do I still have? An x. Keep going. 3 times 3 gives me 9. I don't have any x's, but I do here, so I keep my x squared. 2 times 3 is 6. I have an x. And finally, negative 5 times 3 gives me negative 15. Do I have the ability to expand it out? Definitely. 6x cubed plus 4x squared minus 10x plus 9x squared plus 6x minus 15. Let's find our friends. Looks like a lot of mess, okay? This is the only one by itself. It's lonely. Poor thing. Circles first go on my x squareds. And then triangles go on my x's. And poor 15 is lonely. So let's rewrite whole thing. 6x squared, cubed. 6x cubed. What's a positive 4 and a positive 9x squared? That's going to give me plus 13x squared. How about negative 10 and positive 6? That's going to give me a negative 4x. And then poor lonely 15. Is this the right order? Most definitely. It goes from largest all the way down to smallest. Hopefully there are no questions. I feel like as we practice, you guys are going to get a little bit better, but notice everything that we do is just multiplication. Okay, so this one's going to be a really large chart. We're going to have 3 columns and 3 rows. So we need a big, large box, okay? 3 columns and 3 rows. All right, and let's go ahead and set it up. So my first term goes here, 2x squared, and then minus 4x, and positive 5. And then I have a 5x squared, minus 3x, and plus 2. Oh, I also forgot my plus 5. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to let you practice this. When you finish this, you will have a really long polynomial. It's going to be probably longer than a try, I think. Anyway, I'm going to let you work on it so I don't waste your time. So pause the video now. Pause. Work it. Done. Okay. Moving on. This is pretty easy. I'm going to show you guys a quick, kind of like a little shortcut, okay? So if I have x minus 2 and x plus 7, I could do the box method, or I want you guys to see if you can find this pattern. I know that my x's, x times x gives me x squared. I know that, okay? What is a negative 2 and a positive 7? What's negative 2 plus 7? That's going to give me a plus 5, and because it's my middle term, I just know it's going to be an x, okay? And then finally, what's negative 2 times positive 7? That's going to give me minus 14. This should be your answer if you were to plug it into the box method. So if you want to try me and see if this works, that would be the method, okay? I want us to try this one again. So here we go. X and x we know is going to give me x squared. Now, I want you to add them first. What is negative 4 plus negative 5? That's going to give me a negative 9 because it's my middle term. It's going to be an x. And then I'm going to multiply them, and that gives me my last term. Negative times negative makes a positive. 4 times 5 makes positive 20. If you were to do the box method that we did in the beginning, you should get this answer. Is everybody seeing the shortcut? I multiply, then I add, and I put an x, and then I multiply again. And I'm done. Okay, so let's keep going. X and x give me x squared. If I add these two, I'm going to get a negative 2x. And then if I multiply, I'm going to get negative 48. Please check me if you want. Box method will give you this. Okay, last one. X and x give me x squared. If I add them first, that will give me a plus 10x. And then if I multiply them, that's going to give me a plus 9. Use your box method. See if it works. Are you checking the pattern? So now at the end, let's try these. I want you to try these on your own. When you finish these, there will be a homework assignment that's going to be checked at the door when you return to my class on Wednesday. So be sure that you have it with you so I can give you 100 and make me proud. Thank you, 6th period, and anybody else who needed to watch this video.